Across mountain valleys, dry deserts, and lush green pastures, one animal has quietly sustained human life for thousands of years: the humble goat. You'll find them grazing in tiny backyard farms and massive commercial ranches alike. From the creamy milk poured into your morning cheese to the tender meat served at festive tables, goats are behind more of our daily food than most people ever realize. In fact, there are more than 1 billion goats on our planet today, and every year, millions of them are raised, processed, and distributed across an expanding global market for meat, milk, fiber, and even cosmetics. But what does this global goat industry really look like? How are these animals bred, milked, and processed on such a massive scale? And how do ancient traditions meet the demands of modern technology? Today, we're stepping inside the modern goat farming industry, exploring how this ancient companion of humanity has become one of the most versatile and sustainable animals in agriculture. So, let's begin with where it all started: the long and fascinating history of humans and goats. Long before cows were domesticated, before the first plow turned soil, goats were already walking beside us. Roughly 10,000 years ago, in the mountains of Western Asia, modern-day Iran and Turkey, early humans began taming wild goats. They were small, agile, and tough, able to survive where other livestock couldn't. Goats gave early civilizations everything they needed: milk for nourishment, meat for protein, hides for clothing, and dung for fuel. They were the original 4-in-1 animal: portable, adaptable, and resourceful. You could lead them through rocky cliffs, desert plains, or snow-capped hills, and they'd still find a way to thrive. From there, goats spread alongside human migration across the Middle East, into Africa, Europe, and eventually to every continent except Antarctica. Wherever humans went, goats followed. In many ways, goats helped shape human civilization. Ancient Egyptians considered them sacred symbols of fertility and abundance. In Greece, the goat Amalthea was said to have nourished the infant Zeus with her milk. And even today, in villages across Africa and Asia, goats are seen as signs of wealth, a living savings account that can walk, eat, and multiply. What makes goats so unique is their adaptability. Unlike cattle, they can thrive in harsh, dry landscapes and eat a wide range of vegetation, from shrubs to thorny bushes. That's why, even in regions with poor soil and scarce rainfall, goats remain a dependable source of food and income. It's this ancient resilience that laid the foundation for what we now call modern goat farming, a massive global industry built on thousands of years of human partnership. Modern goat farming looks very different from its ancient beginnings, but the spirit of adaptability remains the same. Today, goats are raised across more than 170 countries, each using unique systems shaped by culture, climate, and economics. But whether it's a small family-run dairy in France or a large-scale meat operation in China, most farms share the same foundation: efficiency, versatility, and care. Let's start with meat goats, known as boar goats in much of the world. These animals are selectively bred for rapid growth and muscular build. A well-managed boar goat can reach market weight in just 6 to 8 months, a fraction of the time it takes cattle. Farmers manage herds through controlled breeding cycles. Females, or does, are paired with bucks during peak fertility months. After a short 5-month gestation, twin births are common, giving goat farming a natural advantage in productivity. Once born, kids are fed a diet rich in mother's milk and forage. By 12 weeks, they're ready to graze freely, often on rough pastures that are unsuitable for other livestock. It's this ability to thrive on marginal land that makes goats a lifeline in regions where farming is tough, from the hills of Ethiopia to the dry plains of Rajasthan. Now, on the dairy side, the process is far more delicate. Dairy goats, like Saanen, Alpine, and Nubian breeds, are raised for their rich, creamy milk. Each goat can produce up to 1,000 liters a year, depending on genetics and nutrition. Milking is often done twice a day, either by hand on small farms or using automated milking parlors on commercial dairies. The milk is quickly chilled, filtered, and either sold fresh or turned into products like cheese, yogurt, butter, and even ice cream. In fact, goat milk is naturally easier to digest than cow's milk and is becoming increasingly popular among health-conscious consumers. From tangy chèvre in France to soft paneer in India, goat milk products are finding their way into global markets. But it's not all about food. Goats also produce cashmere and mohair, luxury fibers spun from their soft undercoats. In regions like Mongolia and South Africa, this industry alone supports tens of thousands of livelihoods. Behind every goat product, meat, milk, or fiber, is a system built on skill, patience, and a deep respect for an animal that never stops giving. And in recent years, new technologies have started transforming transforming these age-old systems into something even more efficient and sustainable. If you think goat farming is old-fashioned, think again. Today's modern goat industry is a surprising blend of ancient wisdom and cutting-edge innovation. Across advanced farms in Europe, China, and the United States, data-driven farming is becoming the norm. Tiny sensors attached to goats' collars now track their temperature, movement, and feeding behavior, all in real time. If a doe stops eating, a farmer gets an instant alert on their phone. If a goat is ready to give birth, the system predicts it hours before it happens. These digital tools are changing everything. Artificial intelligence analyzes herd health, feed efficiency, and milk quality, helping farmers make decisions faster and with less waste. Milking systems have evolved too. Automated parlors equipped with robotic milking arms gently attached to each goat sanitize the udder and collect milk with precision. Every liter is recorded, tested, and traced from goat to bottle. Then there's breeding technology. Artificial insemination and genetic selection are now common, allowing farmers to improve milk yield, disease resistance, and even fiber softness. Some farms are developing crossbreeds that can thrive in specific climates. Goats that handle heat better, grow faster, or produce richer milk. Feed innovations are also reshaping sustainability. Scientists are developing special rations made from agricultural byproducts like peanut shells, sugarcane waste, or brewery grains, turning leftovers into nourishment. This reduces environmental impact while cutting costs for farmers. And for meat processing, modern facilities use temperature-controlled environments and precision-cutting equipment to ensure hygienic, humane handling, meeting international export standards. In essence, goat farming has quietly joined the high-tech era, combining compassion, data, and design to create systems that are more efficient and sustainable than ever before. But technology is only one part of the story. Let's take a closer look at what this means for our planet and whether goat farming can truly be called sustainable. When it comes to sustainability, goats may be one of the most underrated heroes in the farming world. Unlike cattle or pigs, goats are browsers, not grazers. That means they feed on shrubs, leaves, and weeds, vegetation that most farm animals won't touch. In doing so, they naturally help control overgrowth, reduce fire risks, and even restore degraded landscapes. Their small size and hardy metabolism make them highly efficient. Goats produce less methane per kilogram of meat or milk than cows, require minimal water, and can survive on limited pasture. This makes them ideal for regions struggling with climate change, drought, or soil erosion. In Africa and South Asia, goats are often called the climate-smart livestock. They can live where other animals simply can't, turning poor quality forage into high-quality food. That adaptability makes them a cornerstone of food security for millions of rural families. But large-scale goat farming isn't without challenges. Overgrazing in some regions can lead to soil degradation if herds aren't managed properly. Waste from processing plants also needs strict handling to prevent pollution. That's why modern goat farms are adopting circular systems, recycling manure as organic fertilizer, capturing biogas for energy, and using water treatment technologies to minimize impact. Interestingly, goat milk and meat are among the most eco-efficient animal proteins available today. Studies show that compared to beef, goat meat has nearly 70% lower carbon emissions per kilogram. So, while goats may not always make headlines, they might just represent the future of sustainable livestock, small, adaptable, and incredibly efficient. But sustainability isn't just environmental, it's also economic and cultural. Let's explore how goats continue to shape livelihoods, economies, and traditions around the world. Beyond their environmental benefits, goats carry immense economic and cultural value, especially in the developing world. For over 300 million smallholder farmers, goats are more than livestock. Their security, tradition, and independence wrapped in a woolly coat. A single goat can mean school fees for a child, food on the table, or emergency income during hard times. In places like India, Pakistan, Nigeria, and Ethiopia, goats are central to rural economies. They require low investment, reproduce quickly, and adapt easily, making them perfect for small farms and women-led enterprises. In fact, in many communities, goats are often managed by women, giving them greater control over household income and financial decision-making. Globally, the goat meat market is booming. Known as chevon or mutton, goat meat is lean, high in protein, and low in cholesterol, making it popular among health-conscious consumers. Countries like China, Australia, and New Zealand have developed large-scale export operations to meet demand in the Middle East and Africa, where goat meat holds deep cultural and religious significance. And then there's the dairy side. Goat cheese, once a niche niche product is now a staple in fine dining and health food markets worldwide. From tangy feta to creamy chèvre, goat milk products are helping turn small farms into profitable artisan businesses. Even festivals and ceremonies feature goats at their center. In many cultures, gifting a goat is a sign of respect and generosity, a tradition that spans from African weddings to Middle Eastern feasts. It's this unique blend of economy and identity that keeps goat farming not just alive, but thriving, even in an era of industrial agriculture. But as demand grows and technology advances, what does the future of goat farming look like? Will it remain a smallholder's hope or evolve into a global powerhouse of sustainable protein? As the world faces the twin challenges of climate change and food security, goat farming may hold answers that are both humble and revolutionary. Unlike cattle or pigs, goats thrive where other animals struggle, in deserts, mountains, and drought-prone lands. They require less feed, less water, and produce fewer greenhouse gases. That makes them one of the most sustainable sources of animal protein for the planet's future. Across Asia and Africa, governments are investing in modern goat programs, improving breeds, veterinary care, and feed systems. Meanwhile, new startups are developing AI-driven health monitoring and precision breeding tools, helping small farmers maximize production with minimal environmental impact. In Europe and North America, a quiet shift is happening too. Consumers are rediscovering the value of goat products, not as exotic alternatives, but as ethical, eco-friendly choices. From organic goat milk skincare lines to farm-to-table goat cheese brands, innovation is giving new life to an ancient tradition. But perhaps the real beauty of goat farming lies not in technology, but in its human connection. The gentle bleat of a newborn kid, the patience of a herder under the morning sun, the shared meal that brings people together. These remind us that food isn't just production, it's relationship. As one farmer in rural Kenya put it, a goat may be small, but in its milk there is a family's future. And that's the heart of goat farming: resilience, care, and hope wrapped in one remarkable animal. This is the story of goats, the world's quiet revolution in sustainable farming.